Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are across this great wide world of ours. Lately, I've been thinking about, I read a book several years ago called Empowerment and Change. And it's about empowering people or giving the people more autonomy. And lately, I take the public transportation because as a psychologist, I like to observe people and see how people act and see how people tend to see things. And the issue becomes to me is that I believe that we have, and I've said this before in videos before, lost focus on this sense of urgency or this sense of empowering others to be. And I don't know, I'm trying to figure this out. I think some of the issues is not really one central issue, but I think it's post COVID-19, kids being taught from home, the lack of discipline and structure in society, the lack of post education for a lot of people anymore. Because number one, it's too costly, it can't be it's not affordable, and two, the fact that when you get to the point that you have to articulate your points in writing, a lot of people have a hard time writing. And the issue becomes as the public school systems, and I'm not in general, have downgraded their expectations. And when this occurs, we get a learning disability for people because we downgrade expectations. And I've seen that a lot lately in expectations across a lot of spectrums of a lot of things. For instance, a good example of this is the IM-1 lander that we paid $113 million. The government, you, me, and everybody else paid for this thing. And Intuity out of Houston said it landed on the moon and it had success. The point out of this is that I'm not saying that it was a failure, but it landed on its side and now it's not operative anymore. So in essence, what we've done in that situation, if this was the 70s and we were racing to the moon, we would consider that a failure. In this case, we consider it a success because even though it landed sideways on the moon, it's still a success. So there again, it's part of we lowered our standards, and because we lowered our standards, we we expect results, and that's I'm struggling with this because really my own personal belief is that I set myself up with high standards in life, and the only way I can judge whether I'm making progress or not is whether I accept those high standards. And that's the first issue in itself, is accepting those high standards. And the second issue is how close did I come? How far did I short? And then you reassess how I can make the difference there. And like I said, previous video that I made about Native Americans, once we lower the standards, the thing that I got out of that is that when I was watching the talk on the IM-1 is that the NASA and the organization were saying it's success, and in my mind, how can you consider something a success that number one now doesn't work, number two is laying on its side, and saying we got valuable data out of it for like 4 or 5 days. So all of it is like, what's this say? If it walks like a duck, quacks like a duck, it's a duck. So if we lower our standards for something, expect lower standards, we get low results. And this is typical of our mentality right now in America is having the low expectations and expecting results. And if we expect high results, we have to have high expectations. And with the high expectations, we're gonna mess up. We're gonna say, uh, um, say this, for instance, if I was the CEO of that company, I could have more, and then probably he was dictated by NASA. I don't know for sure, but I would have said, this was a failure because number one, we didn't land up straight up. Number two, now it's obsolete. And number three, we never got the data that we wanted out of it. But we learned from this, we lick our wounds, and we move forward. And that would be, to me, it would be high integrity to look at people and honestly say to them, this was success. I really think they're not being honest with themselves, and they're not being honest with the American people. So the point that I'm trying to make with this is we've done this with school, with people with school. We think that now a person, they graduate from high school and they get a GPA of 2.5. Well, they succeeded. Well, yes, in a way they did succeed, but they didn't have high expectations. And with not high expectation, they they settled for less, and they didn't achieve a lot. They achieved, but they did not achieve a lot. On the other hand, somebody that gets a 3.8 or 3.7, graduates, goes on to college, goes there and gets a 3.7, and goes on to grad school. They have high expectations and they achieve a lot. But my thinking about that is you got to have those high expectations. But the issue becomes for those that do succeed with expectations, high expectations to help others along is crucial as well. So, if, for instance, me, I am very grateful that I got a PhD, and one of my goals is to, since I've been very lucky and very grateful to have people and loved ones surrounding me to help me achieve that goal. My goal is to always give back to society in other ways because I was given that chance to succeed at a high level. So I need to give that back to society for that high level. So instead of not expecting low returns or low investments, and I think that's where we've lost that mentality, and I think I don't know, it's gone from the last 10 or 12 years, and that we need to be refocused on high expectations and to give and to give and to give all every day. And I think that's where, and be grateful. So, like I said, I've said this before too. You got 32 teams in the NFL, and you don't award the Super Bowl trophy at the after the first week of spring training or after training camp, the first week or second week, because of the fact there wasn't a lot of effort put into that. So if you put a lot of effort into it and you attain your goals, there's a lot more you achieve out of that. And that's why I said, to me, it's a good case in point with the IM lander that shows low expectations, low achievements. And you can say whatever you want to say. Well, we had these challenges and all that, and we met them, but we still landed successfully on the moon. Well, no, you didn't land successfully on the moon. You landed sideways, and your lander no longer operates. So, how you can say that is a success is beyond me. But there again, if you got low expectations, you're going to get low achievement or low results. So these are some food for thoughts, folks. Just to remember to always achieve at your greatest level. And you got to, what's this old song by Michael Jackson? Is the man in the mirror. You got to, that is the person you got to be happy with and content with. So, and like I said, I see this a lot right now. There is low expectations, low achievement, and the status of just making things go. And I see this at the state level, federal level with government issues. For example, I went out to look at about like benefits and stuff, and it took the state government, 12 weeks to get back to me on an answer on things. So there again, it's just like expect low results, you'll get low achievements. Anyway, please like and subscribe my channel. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me at B. Thomas Miller Psych. Also, remember, I also have books available on Amazon. They're self-published, but book is like Empowerment and Change, Increase Empathy, Increase Self-Esteem. Also, I have some books that I recently wrote was Water Quality on the Reservation. So anyway, folks, feel free to like and subscribe and reach out to me. Have a great week, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye.